This is what I'm calling Skid Row Salsa. There's an area in the produce district in downtown LA where the rotting vegetables, the rotting produce from a number of different wholesalers gets deposited, and there's sometimes you find them strewn out all over the sidewalk mixed with all of the homeless encampment junk, and it's just a total mess, and it could only be salvaged for maybe composting and maybe harvesting seeds. But if you're lucky, there'll still be boxes that are intermingled with perfectly usable or salvageable pieces. So I'm taking out the seeds here, I'm cutting off the bad parts, and was doing my best to select some good materials. So I've got cucumbers, tomatoes, and peppers here fresh off the street, obviously watching out for things like all the trash that people throw in there. There was a motor oil, opened used motor oil container that was just placed in there. It didn't seem like it had spilled anywhere, but obviously I avoided that section, but got lucky with this good stuff. And now I've cut it up and separated some seeds, got some seeds I'm going to dry out in this tray and plant later on. And then the worms are going to be fed the excess. I dumped the excess into the worm bin. Now I'm mixing it up. I'm going to add what I already had was a jar of fermenting fresh harvested avocado off of a tree. I'm going to drop that in after I mix this in, and I'm also going to add what was a garden harvest of garlic chives and green onions. So those were already fermenting, and so I'm thinking I'll just add that onion flavor, so this gets to be somewhere like a thick salsa. I want to keep those the chunks of it pretty big, otherwise it just kind of turns into a slush and after a while, so I like to have some volume to these chunks. And this is going to be a testament to the power of salt brine wild fermentation. Here I'm adding this formula of 1 tablespoon of salt to every quart jar of water. I'm using this formula and adding as many of these. I think I used 2 or 3 to get the water level up to the top there, and as long as I'm careful to get those stragglers into the mix, into the brine, then there should be little to no mold on the surface, and I can just scrape that off later if I need to. But this is probably going to hold up very well. I'm going to give it some time to do its thing and to let the good microbes outcompete the bad microbes, and it'll be my first experience of Skid Row salsa.